Okay, so my wife really wanted a St. Bernard dog. And then my kids really wanted a St. Bernard dog. And then we got a St. Bernard dog.
We sure did.
But we didn't fully, at least you didn't fully tell me that I would be taking on the morning role with said St. Bernard dog, which adds even more to the plate when you add a 150 pounder and someone else that wakes up every morning really early. He's taken my bathroom from me. He wakes up really early. He just wants to be spend time with people, but when he's with people, he's slobbering on them and he eats tables. Loose?
Maybe he just really, maybe he just really, really loves you.
I
And
love
is,
Duke.
oh.
I like Duke.
So, as far as the timing of it, nobody knows what time their dog's going to be at their like peak energy. Did we know that Duke was going to wake up every day at 5 a.m. and and that's the only time in the day he's going to have energy and the rest of the day he sleeps? No.
No.
But when we did find out, we all know our roles in the household, and
So this was fair.
your duty, you take the guard from
I take the morning guard. I
the
take the
morning
morning
guard.
guard.
Like your post is in the morning, so
Yeah.
like 4 a.m. to 8 a.m.
And regardless,
That's your post.
yeah, what's going
Whatever
on during that
happens,
post?
whatever happens within your
Post.
post,
Sure.
your position, your role in that time. I can't help it that my post and role is from 8 p.m. to midnight, and that's when our dogs choose to relax and watch Housewives with me.
Right. Haha. Ha ha ha. Well, we're not the only ones that have gone through this, Luce.
Oh, really?
Really.
I think also you really dramatize how much you do for our dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's some things you do very well and honorably, and you put in your fair share. But to say that I don't do anything,
I did not say
okay,
that.
okay,
But
but
I would say you over dramatize what you do for the dogs because I say we both do equal for said
well,
dogs.
okay, so we do equal for said dog, but I did not get this dog without your consent.
It kind of I was kind of backed into the deal where you took the kids, you found out there were going to be St. Bernards born, you brought the kids every day to see the St. Bernards, and the kids and you were very excited for the birth of the St. Bernards, and it was also your birthday coming up and Christmas and bada beep, bada boop, as
So
your dad
you
says.
felt pressured to get
There was
this.
no way around it. There would have been sadness in the family if I hadn't done it. I had no choice.
But you are a man of free will. I don't hold you against your choice and decisions, and you at some point made the decision to cave and say, let's get the Saint Bernard.
I don't know that I ever said those words. I don't know that I ever said those words. But it's enough about us, Luce.
Okay.
Let's go on to Gary and Michelle, who, from what I understand, they're going through something similar. Listen to this.
Okay.
My wife and I both love dogs. Absolutely love dogs. I think I love dogs a little bit more than she does because whenever I'm on Facebook and I see that there's a dog in an animal shelter that's been there for too long, that is set to be put down, I feel like I have to be the hero and go grab the dog. I feel like nobody else is going to help the dog, but I have to be that person. So what happens is my wife will get home, there'll be a brand new dog at the house in addition to the 6 we already have, and
No.
she gets upset because she knows that I'm going out on the road and she's going to be left responsible for taking care of the new dog. In fact, about a month ago, I rescued an 85-pound dog from a shelter, and he's a big goofball, chews up everything, and I brought the dog home, and then 3 days later, I had to be on the road working a cruise ship. So needless to say, there was a lot of tension in the house.
Gosh.
So let's do
That
the math for a second. You said 6. They have 6 dogs now.
six
Would that be
dog.
number 7?
I don't know if that's number 6 or number 7, but that is a commitment. I love dogs. I grew up with at least 2 to 3 dogs in my household at any given time. So I am right there with you, Gary, on the love for dogs. My love for dogs runs very deep. But if you like showed up day after day with a new rescued dog, I feel like there would need to be a conversation. Like you couldn't just like pop in.
Yeah.
Like I didn't as much as you resisted the Saint Bernard, like you drove in the car with me to get the Saint Bernard.
Right. Did
you
I?
know? Oh yes.
Was I there?
Oh yes.
Yeah. We
Such a forgettable moment.
We
Tom.
also have the so you gasped at the 6 kids or 6 dogs.
6 kids.
So we have 3 kids and 2 dogs and a fish.
And our dogs are like kids. So really they do have like 6 kids.
So we have like 5 kids.
Yeah, basically.
/ dogs.
Yeah.
Right?
We got
So
furry kids.
we're right there with them.
Furry kids. Yeah.
You just picking up a Saint Bernard is comparable to him just picking up this 85-pounder.
I guarantee you my Saint Bernard probably weighs as much as the 6 dogs combined. I think that might be a decent wager. I think if there was some plan in place where he was like rehabilitating the dogs, getting them into a home, like I think it's very admirable to go out and like rescue the dog from being euthanized. And feel in your heart and in your bones that this is your calling. I think everybody has that deep passion in different areas. So I admire Gary for that. I would just add in a phone call from the drive to the animal shelter. Just like drop in a call to Michelle. Michelle?
Right, Michelle?
Drop in a call to Michelle and be like, hey, honey, I'm heading here. Maybe just like a heads up.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know. Like, I think he's onto something. Maybe his calling are these rescues, but there has to be like a rehabilitation. Get him back with families that are
he's
looking
he's got a tremendous heart about the whole thing, but I think the fact that then he leaves town, he's a comedian, so the fact that he leaves town and then, when the dog's only been there for a couple days, and there's that much more work for Michelle. That's where it gets a little dicey.
That's true. That would be really hard. I mean, it'd be like me leaving for several months, you with dogs, because you're not the dog lover out of us. I think you've become a bit of a dog lover.
He doesn't shed as much as I thought he would.
No, he's a good boy.
Does he shed less than most saints?
No. They're just
it's not that bad.
No, it's not. But most dogs and our black lab is the same way. They shed like twice a year, and they shed bad when they do. Like it's excessive. But we got him that haircut in the summertime, so like I think we were able to prevent that round of shedding.
Okay. Because when I went to see, so our dog Duke has 2 brothers that live in Chicago who I saw a couple weeks ago, and they slobbered all over my jacket, and it was a hairy mess, just like when we used to see your other Saint Bernard. Just like when we used to see Brady. Like, that guy destroyed my jacket every time. Now, our dog has never destroyed a clothing piece of mine, but as soon as I saw these 2 dogs, they slobbered, and then the white hair and all that. It was disgusting.
Tom, you're like the dad that talks smack about all the other kids on the playground, but your kid is the perfect child.
Yeah.
I
wouldn't. Duke, we was playing a game with the kids today called, I forget what it's called. Why does Duke smell, or something along those lines. Okay, I think we're good. All right, we're going to call Gary and Michelle right now and get some more info. Okay. And fun fact, Michelle just picked up Gary from somewhere. And why do I bring that up? Because Gary picked up a dog from somewhere and surprised Michelle. So, hey, Gary.
Hello.
Hey, Michelle.
Hi, Gary. Hi, Michelle.
Hi. How you guys? I'm sorry we're late.
Oh, you're beautiful. You're right on time. No problem at all.
Are you guys in the car that picked up the dog and all the dogs that enter your the car?
Well, we're having a battle right now because I'm leaving on Thursday to go to Barcelona, and I am leaving Michelle behind with all the dogs.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You mean Saint? You mean Saint Michelle?
Yes. I'm getting text messages from her mom saying, you have to do something for Michelle because she's responsible for all the dogs.
My mom texted you?
Your mom texted me. I'm like, lady, like, I know what's going on. Leave me alone. Yes.
Okay, so Gary, here's what I say. I listened to the whole thing, and as someone who is like born and raised, I was licked by a Saint Bernard minutes after birth. That was my first bath. Like, I am tried and true, 1,000% all dog. Like, love them like my children. My best behaved child is my black lab Duchess, and I tell my I tell my own kids that. With all that said, I think you're missing one little step in the. I think you're missing one little step between finding the dog on social media and wanting to rescue it, which I think is super admirable, and between that step and entering the shelter, I feel like there needs to be a middle ground step where you pick up your phone, you call Michelle, maybe like loop her in, like, hey, this is happening.
We've got an 85-pounder coming to the house today.
Yes.
And then in 3 days I'm leaving, but I love you, da-da-da, right? Like, I just feel like there needs to be that interim step. I love that you see these dogs and your heart is like completely driven to save them. I personally think we all have those areas of passions that we like. It's our weak spot, and I think rescuing dogs is definitely an area that is super admirable. 6 dogs.
It's the greatest.
It is, and 6 dogs is a lot of dogs, for sure. But I almost think, Gary, there's something in your future about like a rehabilitation center or something
for him.
For him.
For me.
No, well, for him. Well, both for him. But like, if there's a dog about to be euthanized, like having that kind of being able to rescue and saving them, but also being able to find them, and equally as loving home. If Michelle keeps wanting to have all the dogs come, by all means, I'm not here to shake up that.
No, keep going.
But by the way, Lucy, do you think we only have 6 dogs? Is that what you think? Because we have 9.
No, you don't.
I think it was 6 when you made the audio for us. This is new information.
No. Listen, we had 10 when I made the video. 1 got adopted, so we're down to 9. Now, I will tell you, if you're looking for a dog, a blind dog, a 3-legged dog, a misfit, we have all of the misfits that you're looking for. There's no reason. We have a diabetic dog. We have a dog that has no teeth, that has a tongue hanging out from his side. We have everything and everything. It's the big lots of foster dogs. We have everything.
You have everything except a reality show following you around on this. By
the way,
yeah, this should be a show. I feel like, and then you.
Here's what's interesting. We were going to Costco and we were buying dog food from Costco because it was cheaper, obviously.
Right.
They stopped eating the Costco food. So all of a sudden, I went and I bought kind of a nicer, kind of a Nordstrom-y, sharper image food. I bought them this very high-end, grain-free food that they love. So they love this food so much. The problem is they eat it in the morning. They eat it at dinner. We're going through probably 4 or 5 cans a day at $2.50, $3 a can. We're starting to crunch the numbers, and we're spending how much are we?
I crunched the numbers.
You crunched the numbers.
Yeah.
$400 or $500 on just canned food. Now, fortunately, we get free dry food from somebody who donated these coupons to us. But I said to Michelle, instead of us cutting this wet food that they love, we'll cut other areas in our life, which is basically Michelle not coming to Barcelona with me.
Okay, so
Wow.
Isn't that funny?
Tommy,
That's funny.
Be quiet, Tom.
Tommy is sweating right now at the mere cost of what you just said. Michelle, we are gonna saint you at some point in this She should be knighted. She should be sainted.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Or killed.
she should be going to Barcelona on a spa self-care after all the care she provides. Right?
Yeah. Oh,
What
yeah.
I've been on the
I
show.
hope we don't lose this call going over the hill. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I want Okay, so let's
If we lose you, we'll keep sainting Michelle until,
Yes.
until we get you back on again.
Listen, I knew it was a problem when Michelle's therapist and her mom, they're all texting me, what a moron I am, how can I do this? But I will say, Michelle, please back me up. I've spent the last week trying to find somebody to come over and help Michelle and alleviate the burden. Not just somebody to come over and let the dogs out, but somebody who will come over, help her clean the house, help her feed the dogs. That is true, correct?
Right.
Come on, correct. Yes, it's
Okay.
correct. You're lying.
You tried.
No, I tried. I succeeded. I
Right.
found somebody who's coming over that I have to pay for out of the money I'm earning going to the Canary Islands in Spain.
Poor Gary.
Oh,
That's
poor
it.
Gary. Okay, wait. I want to hear from Michelle. Michelle, plead your case, okay? Because we heard Gary's side. We've obviously given our take. What is your? How does all of this play into your own quality of life?
Go ahead. You be honest.
Not to put you on the spot, but listen, if you're the primary, listen, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I consider my 2 dogs my furry kids. So, I've got 3 kids, 2 dogs. It's a lot of work, but I'm also the one that's home all day. And I think as the primary person at home, as Gary travels, I think it's important that your voice and your perspective and concerns are acknowledged and considered. So what is your
Agreed.
What is your stance on all of this?
Well,
Go ahead.
if this is my one chance to plead my case,
Go ahead.
then,
Plead it.
I work too, and I'm gone all day, so I'm not home all day, and then there's 9 of them to take care of at the end of the day by myself.
That's a lot. I mean,
And it's rough.
yeah, that's a shelter in itself, Gary. You've
Well,
what is your yard setting? Where are these dogs?
we do have a big yard. The
Okay.
problem is, and I will tell you guys this, the problem is the dog that I recently pulled from the shelter, the big 85-pounder, he can't be inside or outside because when he's inside, he chews the house to shreds. We need a brand new couch. He chewed it to shreds. When he's outside, he literally has chewed the cable internet line 3 times where in the last, 2 weeks, we've had to call the cable company to have them replace the line to get our cable working. The guy came back, same guy from a week ago, and said, oh my God, the dog chewed it again, knew us.
Oh my God.
But I will, when I had a dog as a kid, if my parents came home and the dog chewed the house, that dog would be gone immediately.
Right.
Immediately. There would be no negotiation, no, hey, let's rehabilitate this dog. I kind of laugh at it because I love this dog so much. I love him. At the end of the night, here's the other side that Michelle won't tell you. At the end of the night, he goes behind our bed. He sleeps. He protects Michelle.
Oh, my God.
He is a protector.
Oh, my God.
I feel better when I'm not home because I know he's there.
Oh, my God.
He's a big
Yep.
guy. No, I like a big dog. I mean,
100%.
listen, I have a Saint Bernard,
Yes.
so obviously I
Aw.
like a big protective dog as well. With that said, you also have 8 other dogs. In addition,
8 other dogs.
So, I guess I'm on a mission because I believe
Wait,
in
you
your.
guys only have 2. If we give you 4, we're even.
Tommy would
Let's
leave
give
me.
them 4.
Tommy would leave me. He would deuce out for sure. No, I think.
I'll leave Gary and then...
Yeah, no, I think I'm trying to find the right solution because I want you guys to make it through, but I also
We're trying.
I want to see these dogs
this is a tough one because I can understand why Gary has so much heart for the dogs, right? Like you're saving these dogs.
But at some point, you got to either get off social media because you can't see another poor like Sarah McLachlan dog.
Hear another story.
Right.
Yeah, you can't hear another story and
and then
feel
focus.
like you need to go rescue another one.
Like Mother
Lucy?
Teresa. Mother Teresa.
Lucy, I will say this.
What?
I will say this, and Michelle does support this and has my back for this. I will say this. Over the last couple of weeks, I have stopped because people will reach out to me. They know that we are the encampment for foster dogs. If there's a dog, we'll grab it. Now, I will say what I've been doing, and I've been very proud of this, instead of grabbing new dogs, I'm all about being in charge of transportation. So what I do now, and this is true, quiet, Michelle. This is true.
Yeah.
I will go grab dogs from the shelter and bring them to a rescue. So a couple of weeks ago, this is true, Halloween Day, I went to the West LA shelter. I went to the West Valley shelter, South LA, brought 3 different dogs to 3 different rescues, was probably gone for 6-7 hours, picking up and dropping off dogs because I feel like because we can't house dogs anymore, that the better way that I can contribute is transporting dogs.
Can you transport your current pack? Any of those? Like what's the limit? Like I'm just like no, like real question. Like not, if you're talking about the cost of dog food, the cost of is that an option too? I don't know.
Well, I mean, the problem is with a lot of our dogs, one of our foster dogs is, has congenitive heart issues. So he's on constant medication, and we were told that he's basically with us for hospice care. Like, he's not going to live beyond another year. Now, Michelle thinks he can still be adopted, and I say, let's let him live out his final year with us. This other dog is, 85 pounds. He's awful on a leash. Like, I say, we get him trained, get him what he needs, and then he'd be a better candidate for adoption. We have a lot of misfits. We have a dog that won't come inside, that stays under our deck all day. Like, we have a lot of dogs that just aren't conventional dogs that would do well in another house if it wasn't for us.
Maybe, or you're not giving other families enough credit that there are people just as passionate as you. And I do think there are, especially in LA, there are people that do take on those misfits that are so passionate. And listen, Mother Teresa, one of my favorite persons in the history of the world, right? She couldn't save every orphan, right? And she had a saying, don't wait for leaders to do it person to person, right? Like, for you, it's like you have this mission to save all the misfits because you believe that they will not be loved by anyone else. But I would challenge you to think that there are probably a lot more people with the same heart and love for those misfit dogs, just as much as you, where you can also improve the quality of life for you and your wife, especially with you traveling, right? Like the traveling, if you were home full time, I'd say, Gary, you do you. But like to take off with these extended amounts of time, it's a lot of pressure. Like Tommy is not a fan of dogs. He has grown into more of a dog lover.
Yeah,
but
I didn't grow up with dogs.
We met, not a dog fan, right?
Yeah.
And he's come a long way and loves our dogs.
Yes, we have two young pups now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but with that said, if like starting off, if I just kept bringing, adding dogs and saying I got to go out of town and work, right. I think
I have one thought, and that would be, and I think Lucy, you started to say it earlier. You need to be receiving less of this information about these dogs that are out there that need help. Like think of
That is
someone,
true.
think of someone like Ellen. She helps everyone in the world, right? But there's no way the stories are making it to her.
Oh, there's
the
story,
thousands that they can't cover.
For
right?
every one story,
the millions that they can't cover.
For every one story, she's probably has 1,000 stories being submitted to her. Like, help me out.
Sure.
You won't be able to sleep if you keep hearing these stories. You just have to somehow stop hearing those stories and focus on your large family at home that you guys have right now. You know.
I would be like, pick which ones that you really feel passionate about rehabilitating personally, and see which ones that you think maybe the guy that lives under the porch that doesn't come inside, maybe he'd be pretty happy on a farm somewhere. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like kind of give a little bit back into.
Well, we also believe too that sometimes, and we've agreed to this, that some of the dogs would do better. Like, we do agree with Hubble, who's the big 85-pound dog, that he's not a fit for us. He needs to be with a family that can constantly hike him or walk him, or just him be the only dog, because he's not that good of a fit for our family. We do know that.
Right.
But we have agreed to that. I mean, that's not, I don't deny that. I definitely know that. You know, listen, when I brought him home and he's sitting in the back of my car, I know that I'm so excited to bring him home, but I also know that it's going to cause a fight when I bring him home. Of course.
I didn't know he was coming.
Right, and I also lied and said that he wasn't as big as he was, and then he walks in and he's just creating havoc from the word go.
Hashtag Saint Michelle.
Yes, and I will say, by the way, I will say Michelle is a saint about working and helping the dogs and really, being at the forefront. So that's why when I'm going away, I need to make it a point to make sure she's got the help that she needs. Because I won't feel good, about sitting on the Lido deck with a margarita knowing that she's not
such a jerk.
getting the help she needs.
Well, let's I was gonna say let's leave it right there, because we do have to run. And by the way, we're gonna call you guys soon for our next episode, which listeners can hear them on in a few weeks. But let's leave it here with saying Saint Michelle is awesome, and Gary, you have a heart of gold. It's amazing.
They tied with both of us.
I won.
It's truly amazing what you're doing. But hopefully this helps a little bit to focus on the family that you have at home.
Yeah.
Yes.
Get like Mother Teresa. She focused on the orphans within her community, even though there were orphans all over that, of course, she'd want to help. So help rehabilitate the ones you can, find good homes.
Wait a minute. Lucy, I know you guys have an audience that normally decides who
we
wins.
Do. I'm not.
Yeah, who would you say wins this thing?
Oh, Michelle, by like a landslide.
Oh, okay.
As soon as the audience knows that you currently have 9 dogs, it's
I like how you thought we had 6.
It's the number, and I think it's the way the question will be phrased.
Yeah, we have to
because
phrase it the right way.
If you had like 2 dogs you rescued, I feel like your percentage might go up a bit, and I think you can get there. I think we can revisit this in 6 months and tally it again, maybe with a lesser amount all at once. But once everyone knows there's 9 of them,
I feel like we need to talk.
Okay, you know what? Now that I've heard that you guys are against me, I'm returning Lucy's book to Amazon.
Oh no!
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing.
I'm sorry. Well, you can. Yeah, right. write a nasty review.
I'm kidding.
Write a nasty
I'm
review.
kidding. I could never do that. No, not happening.
I think, Gary, you have a beautiful heart. Your passion for dogs.
Thank you, Lucy.
Your passion for dogs is admirable. I just think everything in moderation, and you have to think about your wife's quality of life, especially with you going out of town so much. So that is my overall take. I think you both are wonderful. Michelle
is smiling from ear to ear that you guys agreed with her.
Oh, girl.
Yeah.
You mean hashtag? You mean Saint Michelle?
Saint Michelle. Hashtag Save Michelle. Yes.
We need to talk to you every week.
We need to talk to you every week. We'll talk to
Gary needs this reminder
Absolutely.
weekly.
Just a reminder, yes.
Gary,
Okay, let's do that.
the next time you're driving to a shelter, call in. We will talk you
Okay,
through this.
okay.
We will talk you through
I'm at
it.
every shelter. I know all the employees. I do.
Oh, well, you have a
I will
beautiful
hold you.
heart. I think you can channel that into really making a difference and still having a very great quality of life as well. So, you guys got
I
this.
think so too.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thanks, guys. Okay.
Ooh,
Thank you.
Thank you.
My
Thank
voice,
you
yeah.
so much.
Thanks, guys. We'll catch you in a little bit. Talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye.
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 All right. Well, that was Gary and Michelle. That was both of them have amazing hearts. What can I say?
Yeah.
But I can see where the conflict comes from,
It's-
right? So
it's him going to these shelters and volunteering his hours, driving the dogs around. I think that's a great solution. But to keep bringing them home and adding to that while going out of town, while having, I think that's a lot for anyone to take on. So I want their marriage and quality of life to be in a good place while also nurturing Gary's passion for dogs.
Totally.
And rehabilitating them.
well said, my bride. Well, thank you so much to Gary and Michelle for joining. We're going to put a poll up on the @Mom vs. Dad Show Instagram page. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.